Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Let's talk about the relationship between ESPN and WWE and what's been happening over the last couple days. So, a few days ago, ESPN announced that they were going to raise prices for their unlimited subscription, and that included WWE PLEs. Well, WWE fans and WWE reporters and sort of pro wrestling journalists took that and said basically that WWE is raising prices again to watch PLEs. WWE sucks. All they do is care about money and they're raising their prices. Now, there's a version of that where WWE only does care about money and is very greedy, and TKO is very greedy, and they will raise prices any chance they get. But what they fail to realize is that WWE is home. ESPN is the home of WWE PLEs, and WWE and TKO, just like NFL and MLB and any other sporting or sports entertainment that happens to be on ESPN, those organizations don't dictate the prices of ESPN Unlimited. So yes, technically speaking, ESPN or WWE raised the prices to watch PLEs on ESPN, but ultimately it was an ESPN decision. And it's not specifically for WWE, it's for everything that is the home of ESPN. And yes, they are raising their prices like $2, I think. So it's like $31.99 for ESPN Unlimited if you don't have a TV sort of cable provider. I watch through my Spectrum provider. But it's not like WWE is trying to really screw over the fans. It's just ESPN deciding, hey, if this product is worth $2 more, we're raising the prices a little bit. ESPN Unlimited is now a few more dollars. And so that's the truth of the matter. And then because of that, more quote unquote wrestling journalists decided that they were just going to make up a story that said ESPN and WWE are having a terrible relationship together and they're going to part ways once their deal is done. This is a completely made up story that had no real evidence or basis for truth. And so then ESPN actually had to come out and issue a statement denying reports circulating that they were not planning to continue their relationship with WWE when their current 5-year deal expires. We're about to hit year 2, right? Starting in September of 2025. We're about to be in September of 2026. And so ESPN and WWE decide they're going to raise prices. Really, ESPN decides they're going to raise prices. Fake wrestling journalists decide to make up a story that ESPN is kind of done with WWE and they don't want to continue their relationship after 5 years. That may actually be true, and that may actually happen, but it's not based on any evidence or any reality. And so it's a made-up story, which is bad. And then ESPN had to issue an actual report saying basically there is no truth to the report that we have decided not to renew. And so that's the real relationship between WWE and ESPN. And so just so you know, professional wrestling originally obviously was built on a lie, built on deceit. The idea was to make people believe that the two people in the ring were actually fighting, like legit fighting. That was the whole point of the show. It was built on a lie. It was built on deceit. And so a lot of those ideas and mindsets still live inside the business today. That's why there's a lot of lying and cheating and abusing and things of that nature, bad behavior that lives inside the professional wrestling space, not really at AEW or WWE, but more the independent levels, because the business was built on a lie. You're supposed to lie to the fans, you're supposed to lie to each other, and not people can't know the truth because you're playing a character, you're performing. Now in today's day and age, the gig is really up. Everyone knows WWE and AEW and professional wrestling as a whole is not real fighting. We are putting on a show, it's entertainment. When you walk into the building or the venue to watch the show, you're kind of suspending your disbelief like you're going to see a Marvel movie. That's the idea. But some of these ideas still sort of permeate through the wrestling business, and so then you have these made up stories to get clicks, and it's not really true because it's built on a lie, and then they get called out by ESPN, and it's all bullshit from there. And so I just wanted to make that clear so we understand what's kind of happening with ESPN and WWE. They still have 4 more years on their deal. ESPN or WWE didn't decide to raise prices. It was all ESPN because ESPN is the home of a lot of sports right now. And so they made it $31.99, not a decision of WWE. And there's just no evidence to back up the fact that ESPN and WWE are parting ways after their deal expires. And then another interesting thing happened was Will Ospreay basically talking shit about WWE. He mentioned he said a lot of things in this interview, but one thing he said is, I do respect WWE. He just feels like he has to say that. I'm not sure he does. I just don't like the way it's filmed. I don't like the wrestling behind it, and I think it's very minimalistic. This is what Will Ospreay said. I've been seeing WWE recently, and I saw this one clip where the girl missed her by a country mile. But it's not just the girls, it's the guys as well. I do wonder if they're being told, we're already making money, you don't have to kill each other. I'm not saying everyone kills each other in AEW at all, but there's just more contact, and I like that. I like to feel alive when I do my pro wrestling. I don't want just people to whiff on a strike. I'd much rather people hit me than it look bad on TV. I know that's weird. So there's a lot of things in here that are weird about Will Ospreay. One, the idea of professional wrestling is that you can do it every single day of the week, sometimes 8 days a week. Because the idea is that you're looking like you're hurting someone without actually hurting someone. That's the fucking art. It's not actually waffling someone and hitting someone really fucking hard and make it seem like a cool pro wrestling move. No, that's just you hitting them hard. There's no art in that. There's no skill in that. And so I agree, like Will Ospreay said, a lot of the women are really fucking bad. And I don't know if he meant to say it like that. But if you watch an AEW show, the foundation and the fundamentals and the basics of the professional wrestlers are not there. So Will Ospreay has actually no room to judge or talk shit about basically missteps or mishaps in a WWE show when way more happen in AEW. Now, AEW does more high spots, does more sort of bigger moves, kind of does less storytelling. I'm not invested in any sort of AEW match whatsoever because all they do is move to move to move to move to move to move. I do like hard hitting matches, like an AJ Styles, right? But the thing that made AJ Styles great is that he could wrestle anyone all the time and make it look great, and he wasn't hurting anyone. A lot of people get hurt in AEW because they don't keep each other safe. And so I don't think Will Ospreay went to AEW simply because he just loves the product at AEW. They just offered him more money. WWE offered him a normal contract. You got to earn your way in because there's a lot of things about Will Ospreay that don't make him kind of the best in the world. And so I don't really think he has a character. He doesn't. There's nothing as a fan you can invest in. His promo work is very mediocre. But when he gets inside the ring, yes, he is one of the best in the world when he gets inside the ring. And that's not always what WWE is looking for all the time because that's not really what makes money or draws people to a crowd, right? They might stay because the match is great, but they're not coming because you have great matches. They're coming because they're drawn to you emotionally, spiritually, physically. They want to invest in you, and there's not a lot that happens there with Will Ospreay. So when people say he's the best in the world, I just completely disagree. Roman Reigns is the best in the world because he makes the most money, and he draws the most tickets, and he moves the butts into the seats. That's what he does, and that's what the best in the world is. And so I don't like wrestlers who whiff on television. I've talked about Javon Evans punches all the time on WWE. I critique WWE punches all the time. I think if you're a really good professional wrestler, your working punch, boom, is really good. It makes people go, oh, did he really fucking hit him there? AJ Styles form, oh, did he really fucking hit him there? There's a suspension of the disbelief. That's what makes a great professional wrestler. Making a great professional wrestler is not that you just beat the shit out of everyone. You just hit everyone really hard, and that's it. That's a loser. A really good professional wrestler makes it look like they're destroying people when they are not. That is the art. And if you cannot figure that out inside the ring, then you are not a good professional wrestler and never will be, whether you're in AEW or WWE. And I think in both WWE and AEW, there is a lack of fundamentals. There is a lack of being brilliant at the basics, and more people are looking for virality in the big moment rather than really getting good at the fundamentals and building from there. So there's some parts in there that Will Ospreay said that are fine. I think he went to AEW because they offered him more money, and I just don't really think he should be talking about the WWE product, considering it's better, bigger, and makes more money than the AEW product. And AEW has just a real lack of fundamentals and basics when it comes to their new wrestlers coming up, and they botch stuff all the time. So it's really a pot calling the kettle black. I think Will Ospreay should just focus on AEW and focus on his career rather than talking about WWE and the things they do wrong, which most of the time they do better than AEW. And that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.